Hey everybody, let's take one last little video here on stuff that goes down in 1676. We're gonna move from Massachusetts down to Virginia, and there's some problems going on, okay? So basically, Virginia has an issue, right? So they became a royal colony in 1624, and if you remember right, during our starving time, the idea of indentured servitude was pretty cool because, now you made paid to come over, you got labor, now a lot of people lived, and you have to pay out your end kind of thing, right? Well, here's the issue. People started living, like literally people just kind of like started living, right? And so now we have a whole bunch of increasing numbers of small landowners, right? These are landless former servants, that kind of stuff, who were extending land, right? Now the problem is we have more land. Well, who owns that land? Well, it's the Native American tribes. And so we're kind of seeing this conflict starting with Native Americans because, well, we're pushing into that territory, and that now as we're pushing further and further and further, the fight over land begins. Additionally, tobacco prices go down a lot, right? And so now taxes have increased because of Anglo-Dutch wars that are taking place. To protect that trade that's going down, you have to grow more and more tobacco to make money. So we have issues happening in Virginia. Enter a dude. So we have a number of small attacks by the colonists, right? The colonists got really upset about Native Americans on the edge here, want to get more land, all that kind of stuff, okay? And the governor at the time, guy named Governor Berkeley, was governor of Virginia, was like, hey guys, chill. Don't do this. He probably saw what was happening up in Massachusetts, like, let's not, have this big war kind of thing going on, okay? Basically, he set up an investigation, had a meeting happen, and he tried to, like, get everybody to kind of like mediate everything. It was bad. Tribal chiefs got murdered. It was not a good situation, okay? Berkeley again said, calm, 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 whereas the rest of the colonists want to basically either kick or get rid of the Native Americans all completely. So Berkeley here wants to try and make some kind of peaceful solution. How can we live together kind of thing? The people are like, we want more land, we want more tobacco, we want to make money. Let's kick Native Americans out. All right? Enter this dude, Nathaniel Bacon. Awesome last name, by the way, okay? Wealthy planter, a member of the governor's council, and he's going to lead what's called Bacon's Rebellion. A cool thing happens, not cool thing, but a cool named thing, I guess, for what happens in 1776 when the first rebellion is against the colonial rule. So here's the thing. Once again, big guy, he's, a very wealthy planter, and he has some problems, right? His big problems he have is that, one, taxes are unfair. It's going to be a trend so far, we see, okay? Basically said that, the governor has favorite people. Bacon was not one of them, and that he's only helping certain people out. All the favoritism, scandalous and ignorant individuals of power, and top it off, Berkeley was a rich guy because he was the only one who was trading in furs, that being the beaver trade, okay? And so he got beaver pelts from Native American tribes, hence why he was being so friendly to them. And to top it off, Bacon said, hey, Governor Berkeley, your job is to keep us safe, all that kind of stuff. You're not doing your job right now, right? And so he basically, Berkeley said, no, you can't go military mission to attack Native Americans. And so as part of that, well, we see some of these things go down here. So we went down. So when Berkeley didn't give a commission to fight Native Americans, Bacon started attacking people on his own. He got a whole bunch of volunteer militias together and started leading attacks against both hostile and friendly Native American tribes. Didn't matter if they had gotten along with Virginians before this or not, he started attacking everybody, okay? Didn't matter who you were. If you were Native American, he attacked you because he thought you were the problem. Well, Berkeley's like, hey, you can't do that. You are disobeying my rules and my things here. You're a rebel. We're going to take you out now. Well, so Bacon's now rebel leader, right? And weird thing is he's also Berkeley's cousin, which is really weird. And it's kind of weird family dynamic, kind of enough here stuff too. But really, the people liked Bacon more because obviously he was he said he was fighting for the people, that kind of stuff. And so as part of that, he had this like support from the people and stuff, and he's actually elected to the House of Burgesses. And so Bacon's going to go to Jamestown, take his spot in the House of Burgesses, and like have a showdown with this guy Berkeley. So one of the things he writes is something called a Declaration in the Name of the People. We'll read this in class and look at it, but it's basically a document signed by a bunch of people that says, we're calling you out as a governor, saying you're being corrupt, neglectful, not doing your job, and we want to kick you out and take it over instead, and have somebody else be governor instead. Well, it leads to a bunch of fighting, okay? Leads to some fighting in the streets and cities, that kind of stuff. Bacon's people march to Jamestown. Jamestown closes off the gates, says you can't come in. Somehow Bacon gets the wives of Berkeley's supporters and actually uses them as a human shield along with some Native Americans in front of them. And in the end, the rebellion starts, shots are fired back and forth, and they burn Jamestown to the ground. Kind of serious. You see some of the pictures here of the burning of Jamestown. So, whole kind of things going down. All of a sudden, Bacon gets sick. He dies of disease. And then the whole thing falls apart because there's no real leader. Berkeley gets mad. He hangs 23 of the people, seizes their property, gets rid of them, and the rebellion's done. Now, question is, why it's a big deal, right? So this led to a lot of the colonists like having a lot of hatred of Native Americans, right? The tribes were very gone within a generation after this, and so a lot of this push was out here happening. Now, a lot of people thought, oh my gosh, this is a total start to the American Revolution, right? 100 years prior, taxes, all that kind of stuff. Historians have now changed that a little bit. They're thinking, well, hold up. They also saw a decrease in this point in indentured servitude. This is really where Virginia and a lot of states will switch now to enslaved labor versus indentured servitude labor. So instead of having temporary servants who are white and they'd be set free and get access to land, we see the idea of chattel slavery become more popular now in Virginia and the Carolinas and all those places. And we'll see what happens here as it goes further to what we got going on. Thanks for your attention, guys. I appreciate y'all. We'll talk about this in class. Thanks, everybody. Speaking of which, some AI was used to produce this video.